All right, welcome to this extra special edition of Figure It Out Friday. We're going to be talking virtual parties today, and the title Figure It Out Friday isn't really declaring that we're going to, quote, figure out virtual parties, because the truth is they're always changing, and so we're just changing with them, and what works today may be different, and we may need to adjust again. But a good reminder is that Facebook is free. Facebook's letting us work our business in there and we don't pay anything for it. So the times that it's a hassle and we have to jump through some hoops, it is what it is. So we're just going to make it work and keep getting more creative. So the ideas I just want to share today are hopefully going to help you as we navigate through the latest changes. So let me press screen share and we'll go from there. And how's that? Can you guys see that? All right, I should have started on the first slide. Here we go. That was a quick little preview. Virtual party tips. Here we go, my friends. All right, so engagement is the goal for all of our parties. And I know that this is the most obvious thing, but I really just need to emphasize that how our party engages will make or break it. And so everything, it's not about the graphics. It's not about, the wording as much as it is about engagement. And we need to stop our parties from just going dead for days without, reaching out to our host. If it's our own party, without reaching to our family and friends and saying, help me, I need engagement. I just really want us to realize how important engagement is. It is the key to success. So in case anyone needs me to define, engagement is chatter and participation. It's comments. It's not just likes, but it's comments. So your guests will want to interact more and ultimately get excited and then order, book, and or join our team when there's engagement. Also with engagement, Facebook, who is the boss here of Facebook, will see our event as a good social event and they'll move it up the news feed. In comparison, if there's no chatter, Facebook will and move it down the news feed, and you'll notice that people aren't seeing it, they're not engaging. So Facebook is the key. So let's talk about how to get engagement up. First of all, host can set the tone. Look at this darling host. This is Lee's daughter, and she did this week. And look at her. She just, if anyone lives near me and wants to look through a catalog, let me know. I've got some and we'll get you one. Like, how cute is this? This hostess is working it. She's got it. So we need to suggest to our hostess, hey, put a picture of yourself with the catalog. Let them know I sent you catalogs. Or put a picture of yourself with your favorite products. Like anything that can see. This girl is committed. This girl's excited. What else happens with host? Host can ask great questions. I saw someone's party this week and the host said, okay, everyone, what Pampered Chef items should I add to my wish list? What a great thing that she's doing, not just making a post, but this host is now asking questions. And so as we give little tips like that, the hosts need to engage directly with their guest and, do some creative things, and we can help them do that. Another thing that's good for engagement is polls, using polls. So you can see this is one of my favorite polls that I like to do at the beginning of every party. And here's a step that you want to take just a little bit further. When your guests do answer the second part of it, not just how many products do I have, but please comment on their most used ones. I go through the comments, and whatever product they say they use the most, I then go to Consultant's Corner and get a picture of it, and I reply back like, oh, no way, Becca, that's one of my favorites too. There's the picture of the food processor. What do you use it for the most? Then someone else, I will pick the different product. So this whole thread, all these comments are full now of Pampered Chef pictures. And what just happened? Customers sold to customers. Any chance you have for your guest to sell to your guest is a lot more powerful. And again, the engagement rate is huge on this post. So when you do it early, you're getting, again, the engagement, but you're getting a really cool way of customers selling to customers. Okay. How about, we know those of you guys that are on, I know you know, but in case someone's watching this recording, they don't know, we must comment on comments. We don't like comments, anything like that. We have to comment on comments. And we've said before, sometimes it's tricky. Sometimes it's a stretch. Like if they say, oh, great, me too, Or what else? If we can comment back with a question and extend the conversation, that's ideal. That's bonus points. So that's our challenge as we look at any party and someone makes a comment. And I've been in Lee's parties, Becca's, and Susan's that are on today, and you all know this already, and you're already doing that. Do you guys have any comments or tips for those who might be watching, how you keep comments on comments going? Because it's not always super easy.
I think you just need to make sure you ask questions. Like when people comment and they say, oh yeah, I have this product, you know, I always ask, well, what's your favorite recipe to use with this product? And then I ask them the next time that they answer what the recipe is, the next comment is, could you share that recipe with us? So that it keeps them going. And I always make sure I post emoji tickets on everything that they're doing so that they know that every time that they comment with me that they're getting tickets towards the grand prize drawing.
I love it. I love it. So you just save that a little emoji on your phone. It's just one of your most used ones.
Yeah, it's my most used one. So it's literally my most used one. I use it all the time.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you. Becca or Lee, do you want to add anything to the comments on comments?
Well, I would say too, like, be more on top of it. I find when I like wait until late in the day to respond to comments, I just get overwhelmed and I don't do as good of a job. So if I try and jump on a little more frequently and then respond to comments, I do a better job at it.
Yeah, and I know some people only can get on once a day, depending if they work. I'm a little bit of a breakfast, lunch, and dinner type. That's my goal, is to hit those times. So
I turn my notifications off and then I go on at certain times and I just go into the party and then I scroll the comments in the party like twice a day, in the morning and then at night.
Great idea. Yes.
Otherwise, I'm like always on Facebook and I can't do that. I hate Facebook.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Nice. Awesome. Thanks, guys. So this is actually what Susan just said. So my point was going to be create excitement about earning raffle tickets. And so you can, want to give feedback to them right away. So they love getting that little pat on the back that you have, they've earned a entry in your drawing. Susan already told you she has the emoji saved, and then it just increases the participation as well. So use that, and that's kind of a fun one. Word of the party. This is fun, and Lynn Taylor just shared this in our virtual party group, and this was an idea that we've been doing for a while, but I was so glad that Lynn reminded us of this, because when you do this, when you have the word of the party, what does it do? It gives the guest a motivation or a reason to actually read the post. And we know that reading isn't always popular. And so we do want to make sure that we give them a reason to read the post. So basically, you can see what Lynn has shared at the top. Facebook parties are so much more fun when everyone's participating. Collect as many entries, blah, blah, blah. Our secret word of the week will be quick. And this was on her quick meals party. But you could pick any secret word, and then throughout the event, they comment on it. That's kind of fun. I like the word of the party. A roll call post. It's always fun to do a roll call post. One option too is now to have your host do the roll call post, because again, Facebook is going to raise it in the news feed depending on the relationship of the person who's making the post and the person who sees it, which is why it's kind of cool. Some of the new consultants are doing their own grand openings. Their relationship to the people in their grand opening party is they're friends with them. When I do the post for them, I'm not friends with their friends, so it doesn't go as high. So for your host to do the roll call post can really help it increase. What I like to do is have them, of course, say how they know the host, and then introduce themselves with some seasonal or a party related theme. So in October, you could do, say your name, how you know our host, and the best Halloween costume you've ever worn. And if you have a picture of yourself in it, bonus. In November, it could be introduce yourself, tell how you know the host, and your favorite Thanksgiving food to eat. In December, you get the idea. So roll call is how do you know your host, and then something seasonal, something fun that makes them feel like it's relevant and not some idea you pulled out from forever ago. All right, quality posts always include what we call a CTA, or a call to action. Now, we did learn from Pampered Chef, they shared a video with us, that Facebook is also looking for engagement-based posts. So what do we mean by engagement bait? If you tell your audience to do something, you are baiting them for engagement. They see that as less valuable. It's not authentic. So when we say things like comment below, that is actually considered engagement bait. So you'll see as we go forward and write new templates, I will be working on changing the wording to have less straight up engagement bait in it. What you're going to want to do instead would be something like, do you blah, 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 or how do you like blah. And then the idea is they're going to respond below instead of us telling them comment below. That sort of to go ahead and, hold on, let me move right there. We got it. So anyway, do you guys see the difference between engagement bait and just asking a question that they will comment below?
So what type of words would you use other than comment below? Like what would you say give some examples on ways that you would tell people to like use a GIF or to comment with a GIF or to comment below or to like, what would you say?
Yeah, good question. And I've been really contemplating that. So, in the olden days, we'd say, comment below with your favorite recipe about, and now it would be, what's your favorite recipe? We'd love to hear it. Or,
oh, that's a good one.
Right. What gift makes you happiest when you think of free prizes?
Do you think engagement bait would be like drop a GIF?
I'm curious about that one. And I was actually on the phone with home office and I asked them, do you think drop a GIF? And she was like, we don't. But I mean, drop sounds kind of, but I mean, it depends on how closely they're really reading these things.
I know.
Algorithms are. So I think as we work toward less engagement bait, maybe we can even get away from drop a GIF, So
okay.
One more little challenge for us. But, if we definitely get away from the blatant comment below, which, I mean, I'm notorious for doing that. And so that's our first step, is to get away from the obvious comment belows. Okay. All right. Messenger is a great way to get engagement up. And there I am, message me type things. And I say it in the video. So to me, it's not engagement bait to tell them message me, but still that's different than comment below. But we've talked, but those that are watching that are new may not know about what I've suggested, that we have a little library of videos from our phone that we filmed ourselves with, a few favorite products that you can demo in 2 to 4 minutes. And then you let them know there's going to be a magic word. Be sure to watch to the end and send me the magic word in a message. And then what happens when people start messaging you, you have a great opportunity to dialogue. Like Susan already described a great way of saying, like, well, what do you use it for the most? Oh, great. I'd love to see that recipe. Oh, blah. Anything you can do to keep that conversation going is going to increase your relationship. And relationships and connections are going to trump a great graphic any day. It really is going to. And the emphasis on great graphics and the lack of emphasis on relationship building will leave you disappointed with your party results. So having them message you, and you can even play games in your parties where they have to message you the answer, and then you can go in and turn off the notifications for a post so that they can't put the answer in and they literally have to message you to participate. And so I think that once I go back and I start doing my closing, most of the people who participate in the party, I already have Messenger open with them. It doesn't sit in their other folder, or it isn't the first time I'm, quote, talking to them. Now, you guys may have noticed there's even a little microphone in the Messenger where you could even leave a video clip, an audio clip for them. And depending on what the message back is, I think that you could express a lot more enthusiasm, some authentic, relationship building could happen. And I could see being able to say, Becca, this is the third magic, word you sent me in a row. This is so fun. Thanks for being a part of the party. And they get to hear your voice and they get to hear it personalized from you. So again, play with that microphone. I think it's kind of cool, and just one more way to connect and bring out, a closer relationship opportunity. Messages build relationships. I believe, hopefully we all know, thanking our guests in a party is important. We have great graphics that thank you for your order. What I really like to do now is say, thank you, Brittany, for your order and supporting Susan's party. What product are you most excited to use first? Now what's going to happen? Brittany's going to comment again, what product, and now this is the second opportunity for customers to sell to customers. And then I get to throw the picture up. If Brittany says, well, I can't wait to use my egg cooker, then I'm going to throw up the egg cooker picture, maybe even with a recipe, and say, oh my gosh, why did you get it? Blah, blah, blah. So get that idea. The other thing that I include in the post is be sure to check your messages because I'm sending you a great recipe. So there's two things you can do. The thank you post is powerful. It isn't just thank you and you leave it blank. It's thank you, what are you looking forward to the most? And check your messenger because I sent you a recipe. And now it's a reminder to the other guests to order. And you, of course, tag your host. And she usually says thank you too. Susan?
So the home office, when they did their virtual party training, they basically say that there should be one post at the end of the day thanking all of the guests for ordering who ordered that day, that it shouldn't be like each particular guest. So do you think that it would be good to thank each particular guest, or at the end of the day thank the people who ordered that day and tag them all in one post? Or what do you
what, I've heard a lot. I mean, I know that we've heard from Cami Cruz, a great, virtual party guru. She does one post a day. For me, sometimes I feel like it creates energy and a buzz that gets things going. So maybe the first two orders, they're individual. And then if they really do start coming, you could get to a point where you do one post a day. I'm still I'm not having parties with 20 orders. So I don't think people are like, dang, that's annoying. On a party, it's typically 10 to 12 happen in a party, and they tend to be spread out. So I don't know. I'm still kind of doing that, but I like the idea, especially if you are being more disciplined, to just check in at the end of the day, comment. And then again, that whole thread could blow up with what they're most excited to use. And
I was thinking if I did one post and then just tagged, like if 3 people ordered, tagged those 3 people and then had them write what they were most excited to use first, then 3 of those people would comment and I'd be able to comment back with them and other guests would see that.
Yes. I think that's probably ideal for the quote engagement part of that. It depends on your personality. I know that sometimes I forget. And so for me, as soon as I get the notice on my phone, it's just easy to do it. And I know I don't miss anybody. So I guess know your personality. And if you get your system in place, it's probably ideal for engagement. So thank you for bringing that up. That'll definitely be my wish list item to work on for sure. All right. So those are the ways. Don't miss your opportunities with thank you post. Those have got great opportunity for you. All right, use your host for bookings. This is not a brand new idea, but some people are new, so we'll review that when your host picks out friends that they think would be great, you can let your host know. I'm going to give you a host challenge to think of 5 friends that would be great to party with us. Put me with you and them in a message, and then you give them the words to say on how to promote you as someone that would be fun for them to do a party with. Pampered Chef has given these graphics to us that say when you book 3 parties, our host will get. And then there's even graphics that update. Ooh, 1 party's booked, 2 to go. 2 parties booked. So use it that way too. And then of course, having your host just chat up why they decided to host, what they're most excited. I like for them to talk about what rewards they're going to use, what's most on their wish list, and really share why they're hosting. And most of the time they're going to say something like, well, it was easy. I thought, why not? Oh, I really wanted the quick cooker or the skillet or whatever. So ask your host to do that. Ask them to share because their friends are going to listen to them. Okay. One thing we want to make sure we look at is every party is not only an opportunity to sell products, it's not only an opportunity to book future parties, but it's an opportunity to share about our business. There is a lot of people that pop into Facebook parties that have never attended a cooking party, that don't even know, or if they have, they didn't know that some people do a whole business just in Facebook parties. So you want to create desire for our business. One of my favorite ways to do that is to do a post where I ask them to share a selfie of them with their favorite Pampered Chef product. And are you now seeing that is opportunity number 3 for customers to sell to customers. So don't miss this post. It's important. Now, do I have a ton of participation? Not always. Sometimes I have to kind of round that up and ask the host to tag a few people. But if you can get people posting selfies with their favorite product, it's powerful. And then you include, come back tomorrow and I'll show you my favorite product. And then the following day, your favorite product is your apron. And you put out a great picture of you in your apron, or you do a Facebook Live in your apron. You're creating desire, and you tell your apron story at this point. And we've done a few trainings on this apron is one size fits all. It's fully adjustable. Before I wore this apron, my life looked like this. Since wearing my apron, my life looks like this. And if you guys have not captured and really thought about how powerful the apron is, what it can do for you, what it has done for you, if you can get yourself to get a little tear in your eye as you think about it, you're right where you need to be. And that will be attractive to people. And don't underestimate what little or big thing Pampered Chef has done for you that will be attractive to others. Some people kind of poo-poo like, well, I mean, you know, it helped me pay for, you know, my kids' gymnastics. Like, that's huge. That's big for people. There's parents that can't afford to do that for their kids, and they would love to. So get a hold of your apron story. Consider the what's your favorite product selfie post for your customers with the follow-up of you the next day. The other fun thing, and Susan has got some great graphics too that she can share of how you can do a daily fun fact about being a consultant. Sometimes it's hard for you to just say like, hey, did you know I get free products? But here's a fun way. Get yourself hugging a box of Pampered Chef and say, fun fact, Pampered Chef's consultants earn free products each season. If you love products and you think products, you know, are free ones, you should talk to me about how fun and easy it is to be a consultant. You can have the best stock kitchen in your neighborhood and make money too. So just think of that. Another fun fact. What is your dream vacation? We can earn free trips every year. Susan, I'm totally putting you on the spot. You made a few different fun facts. What other fun facts do you remember that you might have done? You're still muted. We need you. Oh, you're still muted. Let me find my mouse. I can't unmute you. We're having some tech.
Oh, okay, sorry. I like went to go pull my stuff up and I was like, I couldn't get back to my Zoom. So hold on there right here.
Oh, can you?
My fun fact number, can you hear me?
Yes. I don't know
Okay.
if you can screen share or not.
Oh, you want me to, I don't know if I can screen share if you're screen sharing.
All right, go ahead. I don't want to screw myself up. Go for it.
Yeah, sorry. I don't want to screw you up. So my fun fact number 1 is the same as you. It's the one about the I can earn new products each season and can receive up to a 50% discount on products purchased. My fun fact 2 is I have the freedom to sell on my terms through cooking shows, virtual parties, individual sales, fundraisers, and more. My fun fact 3 is I have a flexible schedule where I determine the days, hours, and times I work. And my fun fact 4 is I'm able to take my husband on a vacation every year for free. Does your job pay for your vacation? And then I post all the pictures that you have like right here.
Mm-hmm.
And because my story has to do with the fact that I have a lot of kids and there's not a lot of additional money to do things like that, it's really a big deal that I can take Ryan on a vacation. So that's why it says I can take my husband on a vacation.
Exactly. That's awesome. Awesome.
So, and I do those every night. And then the night that I post the fun fact number 4 is the night that they ask me questions. And that morning I posted my story.
So cool. I love it. I love the systematic way you're doing that. Very cool. So think of what fun facts matter to you all and then create post about a fun fact every day. Okay. I also think the Q&A, Susan just led into that. Most of us do a Q&A at some point in the party. Ideally, it's the morning that, you know, the morning you do your story. Like Susan mentioned, for me, that's my apron story in the morning. And then that night is Q&A. I like to do Q&A with a twist and ask who's going to ask the magic question. So I say, you can ask me any question about the business and get an entry. But when you ask me the magic question, you win a free cookbook. And so for me, the magic question is, how much money can you make? And so I have them, you know, guess whatever. And then if they do say, well, how much money can you make? I say, winner, message me your address, you get a free cookbook. And then you can post copies of commission checks. Money matters, straight up. People need to know we don't get paid in food shoppers. People need to know that you can make full-time income. So again, don't downplay if you have a beginner check, show that. And if you need to ask your director for a check or anything like that, that would be very important to be able to do as well. So reach out to your director. We can send you checks and you just say, this is my director who's been doing this for XYZ time. And it's very helpful. Okay, finally, don't give up on the Facebook parties. I just want to acknowledge that there's some parties that are harder than others. There's some hosts that are not as savvy. There's some hosts that are not as cooperative. They won't post a cute picture of himself with a catalog and say, look, me, I'll get you a catalog. But here's the deal. I just want to remind you, before Facebook existed, I've been doing this 21 years. Before Facebook existed, my choices for parties were cooking show and a catalog show. We can still do both of those, but the Facebook is extra opportunity for us. It's still free. It's, yes, aggravating sometimes, but it's an opportunity that we can have. In anything that we get there is great. And there's definitely people that are constantly showing us consistently that they're making income, but they're changing with the times. And so they're making adjustments. So I want to encourage you to not give up. And if you signed up and said, I want to be a virtual consultant, and you had a bad batch of parties, don't give up. Your dream to work from home, from your couch, is reality. We can help you. And there may be a few bad batches that we got to get through, but don't give up. Okay, so I want to stop sharing for a second and see if we have some things in the chat bar. I'm thinking we might. I really can't find my mouse right now. So anyway.
I took care of the chat bar.
What was that?
I took care of the chat bar.
Thank you, Susan Bart. What would I do without you, girl? All right, so is there any other questions or comments? I would love to hear one idea that you learned today that you think is going to help you with your virtual party. Anything that you were doing you want to stop doing. Unmute yourself if you're silenced and share with us.
Well, I have a question, actually.
Yeah.
So we're talking about this last one about not giving up. Was it last week that you had the homework about host coaching for virtual parties?
Yes.
And was it Laura, I think? She was saying that, like, if your host isn't, like, interacting, to basically give up on it and be like, oh, looks like you're busy, let's try a different time. And I was kind of curious what you, like, if your host is really just not participating, would you want to reschedule or just keep chugging along?
I generally don't give up. I will start messaging their people. Now, the good thing about the groups now is that when you see that there's 22 members of the group, that means that at least 20 of those people, not including you and the host, clicked join group. That means that they want to be part of the group. So if I had a host who wasn't participating, I would probably start friend requesting a couple of those people, maybe all 20 of them, and then I'd start messaging them and being, hey, what do you think of the party? Are you having fun? Why don't you tell me who you cook for so that I can help you and maybe post, some things that you would like. And then I would just try and get other people involved, because if the host isn't doing the work, but I've already set the party up and she's already got her friends there, then it's worth doing some extra work to get some sales for it.
Great point. Good reminder. Yes. Good. Now, hopefully, we're dealing with host and the expectations we set for them before that party even starts. And we know it doesn't always happen. I have a hostess that literally isn't, quote, able to tag people. She doesn't know. And I'm sending her screenshots of the @ sign. Like, I'm not kidding you. And I'm like, okay. Deep breath. But most of the time, we've done that work ahead of time where I say, Susan, I'm so glad you're going to be one of my Facebook hosts. We're going to have a great time. These are the things I'm going to ask you to do. I'm going to ask you to make a comment on every post I make, or nearly every. I'm going to ask you to make a post every day, and I'm going to ask you to invite and engage with your friends. Will you be able to do that? If they hesitate, then I might say, before we start this process, what's probably going to work best for you, Susan, is to do a catalog party. And then I go that direction. So, again, hopefully we're not setting ourselves up for failure with people who say, actually, I'm not on Facebook more than once a week. I'm like, why are we doing a Facebook party? So ask those questions ahead of time, and never, ever say, I'll set up the event and do all the work. We don't want to say that, because then we do all the work and it's not fruitful. It's very frustrating.
Right. And I mean, I think that no matter what, you're always going to have somebody who, like, I mean, out of all of the parties I do in a month, if I do 10 parties, maybe 7 to 8 of them will actually qualify. You're always just going to have 1 or 2 parties that the host, you know, she might have done half the work or a little bit of the work, and you did some extra work and it still didn't work out. And if it didn't work out, well, then you just and move on. Because that's just how it works.
Exactly. And I think that, you know, that's why we also want to overbook. And we do that in cooking shows as well. If we want to submit 6 cooking shows, we book 8, because someone's dog's going to get sick, someone's kid's going to get the flu, someone's hubby's going out of town. Same with Facebook shows. If you want to submit 6, you're going to book 9 or 10 and say a couple are going to dud out, someone's going to have whatever. And so there's always this margin of making sure you have enough. Do you make enough contacts, get enough bookings? Are you booking enough shows? So those are all really important. Who else? Anybody say anything in the chat, Susan, about something that they're excited to apply to their business, or anybody else want to unmute?
I think I haven't seen anything come up in the chat.
Okay.
Let me see. For some reason, the chat's not pulling up right now.
My whole screen is frozen, so I'm not able to move anything around. So anyway.
It was telling me, like, when somebody would write in the chat, it would tell me, and then I would click on it. But I can't seem to get to the chat without actually, like, getting out of, I don't know, whatever I'm in.
I'm looking at the chat.
Oh, are you? Okay.
Yeah.
Is there
no one said anything about excited. I know Brittany asked how to make the graphics.
Oh, I wrote Canva on there.
Yeah. So that was about it.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, thank you guys for joining, and I hope this was just a little teaser of how you can keep tracking. And the main goal for today was to give you a few fresh engagement ideas, a few fresh ideas on how to get bookings, a few fresh ideas on how to share the business opportunity, and to know that every party is an opportunity to sell, to book future parties, and to entice and encourage people to join our team. We are going to definitely have follow-up training from this with some of our top virtual consultants, and we'll go into definitely more details on host coaching. So thanks again for being a part of it. Appreciate you joining me, and have a great weekend. Bye-bye. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.